We are blasting off. We are live. Welcome everyone to our daily success call for Tuesday, the 22nd of June, 2021. John Lavinia here with you. So it is, let's see here, second day of summer or second day of winter, depending on which hemisphere you're in. I guess if you live on the equator, it probably doesn't matter. Do we have anyone here in Ecuador? Wonder how they named that country. That's interesting. But it's good to be here with you all. I see some of my favorite people here. Let's go ahead, as is becoming tradition, and look at gallery view. And here's DL. I see DL, and of course I see Jamie and Averill. Kimberly's here, Missy, Nancy, Natasha, and lots of other people who are not on camera yet. We do have Diane here. Diane's one of our awesome accountability reps, which hopefully you guys are getting with your accountability reps, and getting through your steps and getting oriented and creating consistency, and which is a good thing, right? I just had
I've not heard from my accountability rep at all. Not a
oh my goodness, Nancy. Hold on a second.
Sent me the link to you.
Okay. And who is this?
Denver.
Denver. Okay. Let's sound the alert here. In fact, since Diane's here, maybe Diane can sound the alert on our behalf. Thank you, Diane. You're awesome. Let's figure out where's Denver. We got to send out a search party because Nancy's over here, like being Nancy, and you know, she could use some company.
John,
well, I've seen him in a lot of other meetings. So,
can I just get some clarification on how often is this every Tuesday? Because I have it in my calendar for every Tuesday.
It's every Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. Yes.
So it's every day. I've missed out.
Not Saturday and not Sunday.
Yeah, every working.
Adam's every Tuesday.
Yeah. So Adam does some stuff. When was that, Andy? Adam's on Tuesdays. He does stuff. Okay.
Yeah, Adam is Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Is it the same time every day?
Oh, okay. For us, it is. Yeah. Daily Success Call, 1:15 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, Monday through Friday. Okay. And yeah, so Adam does, he's the head coach. Like he does like nuts and bolts training and systems and things like that. I'm the town philosopher here. So totally different conversation. So thank you, Natasha, I'm glad you asked, right? I was wondering where you were yesterday. My goodness.
Well, I've only been told about Tuesdays. So that's why.
Who's your accountability rep?
V.
Diane, if you would please admonish V with many tauntings and beatings.
Natasha, you can do the course on Tuesdays online. You can take the course that way.
Okay.
Live.
All right. Very good. Hey, any other questions since we're doing housekeeping?
Get it started.
Was that Sandy? Hi, Sandy. No?
Hi, John.
Hi, Sandy. Did you have a comment?
No, can you hear me though?
I can hear you now. I sure can.
I'll ask.
Okay, great.
I'll ask a question.
Okay. Hi, Kimberly. What's your question?
What should we be getting from our accountability rep? Because we don't know necessarily what we should be getting. So if we're not getting it, we don't even know it.
Ah, right. Daily communication and an opportunity to give feedback each day on another step of the accelerator process. So has that not been happening, Kimberly?
I got the initial email, and then when I finish whatever the email assigns, then I get a new email, but there hasn't really been any other communication.
And who is your accountability rep?
Ted.
Me too.
I definitely haven't had daily communication.
I don't know who my accountability rep is.
The expectation.
Here's my response. There's my response. Okay, now you know.
Okay.
Thank you. Cecilia, you have your hand up, please, Cecilia.
Hi, everybody. My rep is Gail. She's been great, but I know that there are so many aspects of this company, like it branches out in different ways that if you don't, I guess, write everything down like on paper, step by step by step, like to do your to-do list, I think we could get lost in this. because I was stuck in a loop yesterday, and I'm like, what the heck? This is 3 days already, and my mind just like is frazzled, and I got things to do, and then so I'm like, okay, let me organize this. And so we have these videos for the accelerator. I'm up to video 7. I'm waiting for my next video to come up.
Okay.
So, but on that, it's weird how it writes out. It's like it shows on the link, it says 5, but that's really video 6. And because some links have 2 videos in that link. So
Right.
you just look at all your stuff, like every email. And what I did was, because I'm horrible with email. So what I'm doing is I'm dividing, like every time I get an email now, I'm putting it in a folder. And this is just for like business. This is for all the Shopify. This is for all the Etsy. So because there's too many things coming in from the low-hanging system, which it's not too many. I mean, it's good. It's good that they keep you updated. So like, let's say you don't have contact for some reason, or it's late and you know your representative not working right now, you know, but there's so many things in the email. If you look through all of it, it even has like certain emails that come in. It has like the times when we have these coaching calls and Adam's calls and the recording, you know, like everything's on those emails. So you have to like write it down, or even organize it on the computer, different tabs, bookmark it. Like there's so many different ways, but we just have to organize it how we feel is best for us. But I'd like to make it easy for myself. So I try to give myself those reminders by putting it everywhere. So I get used to the habit of doing this, so that when I do actually run the business the way, you know, it's going to expand for us, I want to be able to already have that part situated with my organization, because I'm horrible.
Understood.
You will.
Well, let me offer this. Thank you, Cecilia. And you're getting acknowledgement in the chat as well from Jacqueline. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Cecilia. And I see others here in the chat are also saying that they have not had consistent communication with their reps. So a couple of things. Cecilia just brought up a great bit of mentoring, in fact. So out of necessity and to avoid additional overwhelm, which was not what she signed up for, she created folders in her email client, and that could be Apple Mail, like I'm on a Mac, or it could be Outlook, or whatever, right? You can create folders that come off your inbox, and you can put stuff that's important based on whatever you think is important into those folders based on topic. This will give you not only an archive of emails that never get deleted, because now they're in that folder. You don't click delete on them, you just move it to that folder. But it also will help you compartmentalize. Just like if you had, how many people like to have a clean desk? You like to have a clean desk? I can't work in a mess. I'm like, no. My stuff, my tools, my equipment, exactly where I want it to be. Exactly. In fact, when the maids come, the housekeepers, they come, they know, don't move anything. If you're going to dust, put stuff exactly back where it was. Okay. So I'm a bit anal retentive like that. But how much faster can I go? Do you know that most people spend half their life just looking for stuff? I am not exaggerating.
No, it's true.
I see your hand up, David Ray. We'll get to you in just a second. Let me tell you a quick story. So my daughter, who's 10, and she's my princess, and I love her, and she's amazing. Okay. But there was this pattern that comes up again and again and again, because she tends to spread, right? I tend to consolidate. She tends to spread. Very different operating strategy as a child, right? And so she would always be coming to me and saying, "Where's my toy? You know, have you seen my teddy bear? Or, you know, where's my this? Where's my that?" And so I made a rule because the answer was always wherever you left it, right? So the rule in the house is there is no question that starts with the words, "Where is my?" That phrase never occurs in our house, because the answer is always wherever you left it, right? Nobody stole it. No ninjas came in and, like, you know, thieved upon you with, you know, your teddy bear. That question never gets asked. Actually, it's been quite therapeutic for me anyway. David, sir, you've got the floor.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, good morning, by the way. I just wanted to say that my reps have been responsive, but sometimes it just takes a little bit of persistence on our part. for example, because we're on different time zones, they always answer emails. Yesterday was the first day I'd spoken to my rep in person, even though it'd been all the way through completely finished the accelerator program now. So we finally had a chance to speak in person, but we've always communicated through emails. And when I had a question, for example, I wanted to save images on the Pixplosion that Rachel had hooked us up with. And I wasn't able to do that because my account, wasn't set up and I couldn't figure out how and stuff. And he gave me an email address of a person to contact, who gave me an email address of a different person to contact, and who gave me an email of a third person to contact. And I finally got through it and I got the answer perfectly and it worked great and I was able to click through it. So what I would say is that a little persistence on our part, everybody's very willing to help. And it's just kind of a matter of, the way I experience it, it's just a matter of coordination of schedules and time zones and all that. But everybody's very willing. It's just sometimes we have to be a little bit patient, persistence on our part. And I've been able to work through everything just great with all the fantastic support of all the people.
Well, thank you. And that'll be relayed to them as well. So yes, we have some out points, which happens when you're growing like mad. This has been an absolute explosion. In fact, since all of you showed up here, it has just been nonstop. Like if you saw like charts, if you looked at a chart, just picture straight vertical. That's where we're going with this whole operation. And as was already indicated, it might have been Cecilia or Natasha was talking about all the different staff members. There was an army of people here to work for you, to help you get your business where you want it to be. And we all have different posts, right? My post is not Adam's post, is not Gail's, is not Diane's, right? Is not Rachel's. So just like imagine on a ship, right? Here's the captain, here's the engineer, here's the cook, right? So people in some cases, because we've expanded so much and had to add a lot of staff, they're still learning their post in some ways, right? But all of this is valid because it will be instructive, right, for people who have to figure out what's going to be optimal. We need to optimize stuff to serve more people in less time, right? So that's what's going on. So you guys get to experience that. And I know Andy's going to love when I say this, but Andy, this is the early days, right? We're going to look back and say, oh my goodness, we only had 40 people on the calls back then. And it was like, you can just kind of sit back and relax. Yeah, it is exploding.
Like 5 people a couple of weeks ago.
5 people, right? Now we're up to 40 and that's just live. And that's not including, we may have an Aussie or 2 on here. I know we probably have a Kiwi on here. Where's Nayo? Is Nayo on here? 5:15 in the morning?
Wow.
Maybe. No? Okay. So maybe she's catching up on a little bit of sleep. But look, this is a mission that we're on. And so, Proverbs, Solomon said, where there are no oxen, the stable is clean. We got a messy stable a little bit. That doesn't mean I like a messy stable, right? That just means we need to clean stuff up, optimize. And one way we can do that, thank you, Cecilia, is making some folders and putting your stuff in your folder, right? And yes, you're going to get a lot of email. Welcome to internet marketing. You're going to get a lot of email. In fact, I would suggest you read it. This is not just stuff that comes from, what we're doing here and, staff members and all that. Obviously read that. Okay. But like your junk mail, somebody paid, copywriters to write that stuff. I mean, read your junk mail. You want some free marketing training? Read your junk mail. Yeah. And if something's really hot, like, oh man, that's a great subject line. You got me to click. It got me to click. All right. That one goes into a swipe file. So you can make a folder that's called swipe. And now whenever you're looking for ideas, you can just go in the swipe file and see what catches your eye and plagiarize it. What did Goethe say? He said, all intelligent thoughts have already been thought. All we got to do is try and think them again. Okay, great. Here's some great ideas that people paid to put down in writing. Oh my goodness. So what are we talking about here today? I guess we're talking about creating order. Actually, that's not where my brain, there's Nayo. Hi, Nayo. Good to see everyone. That's what she said. She's in the chat right there. But rest assured, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to bring the hammer down and we're going to figure out where the communication lines are breaking down. Because that's the main thing, right? Is we got to be able to communicate. Nothing happens without communication, right? So I'll tell you where my brain was going today. I've had some conversations with some really awesome people here in this community recently, not just here in this forum, but as you know, as you go through the accelerator process, we get ready to launch businesses and do strategy sessions and all that. And I've had the opportunity to talk to a couple people. And I'm going to keep this light today because we're already 15 minutes in. And everyone's got life and business to do. So, but I want you to think about this story. Here's a story. Okay. There was a guy, and he was born into a very wealthy family, you see, and trust fund baby, right? One of these. And he went through life and grew up, right? And really didn't have any problems that, were of note, nothing of note there. He had fun, he played with toys as a child. And then as he grew into manhood, he inherited, of course, very large estate, and continued to live his life, and played golf, and ultimately, became old, and then died, and the end. That's the whole story. How exciting is that, huh? Yeah, you've never heard a story like that, have you? Of course you haven't. Of course you haven't, right? There's nothing worth talking about in that story. I want you to consider for a moment your story and how different it is than the one I just told you, the exceedingly boring, painful, almost insufferable story that I just told you. I want you to consider for a moment what makes our story, any stories, right? The movie you watch, the book, the novel that you read, the mystery, right? What makes this memorable?
Struggle.
Anyone here like the Lord of the Rings, right? So Lord of the Rings, what an epic story of battle and problems and good versus evil, and, death defying, overcoming, slaying dragons. Holy crap. Right? Do you remember that? I remember that. How about your story? So up to this point, any trust fund babies here? Okay. Anyone just rolling in piles of cash in their living room, and because you were bored with rolling in piles of cash, you come and you joined this like e-commerce deal because you were bored with your money? No. Right. Okay. Oh my goodness, Andy. All right. So you've had to overcome problems. Oh, you've done notable things. And you've got, at this point, what I would offer you this, and this may sound a bit presumptuous, but I would say you've got a bit more character than the trust fund baby who went through life unscathed. Obviously, I just invented that story as I went, and I made it as boring and uneventful as possible, right? But you've had events in your life which have shaped your character. And let's say that you're halfway through the book. Okay, so let's say that now and we got people of all different age groups. Okay, but let's just say that we're halfway through the autobiography, and everything that led up to this point is now going to, in the next chapter, is now going to be revealed as needed and necessary to develop that character to then create these next chapters going forward. Here's the question: what are these next chapters? What character is showing up to do this? Is it the person who has never weathered a storm, or is it the person who has developed some armor, right, and who has overcome things and who can embrace an opportunity to the point where you can go and like make a spectacle of yourself, right? Here's the triumphant, conclusion. Here's the slaying of dragons. You don't just show up and say, here's a sword. Oh, I've never seen one of those before. There's a dragon, and suddenly you're victorious. No, these guys train, right? These dragon slayer people, and there's, the tales that we tell. Who's doing this work? Here's the question. When you look at yourself, do you see yourself as a good investment? Now, obviously, to a degree, you all do, or you wouldn't have enrolled in the first place. Oh my goodness. Put a couple $1,000s on the table, and, which is extremely light duty. I remember, anyone here have any experience in the like home business, like multi-level marketing, network marketing kind of stuff? Yeah, a few of us, right? I remember back in the 1900s, okay, back in the last century, I joined this deal. I won't tell you what the name of it is, But it was $5,000 just for like the starter pack and one of each of the products and all this. And this was like a cheap deal. This was after having, bought a franchise for 6 figures, which I didn't have, by the way, right? I had to go borrow that money. So think about, what we've got here in terms of just a very accessible, low level entry point, right? So there's got to be a little kernel of a flame there, a little bit of self-belief for someone to go ahead and engage to any degree. I mean, the average, person just sitting around watching 5 hours, 7 hours. What's the statistic right now? 7 hours a day of television is the average, probably higher with COVID, right? So they're not here. If everyone who needed this conversation was here, we wouldn't be able to, there's no technical platform that could hold it. It'd be way beyond capacity, right? So give yourself some credit for that. But now you've got to make a decision, because if you've decided that you are worth the investment, that you're a good bet, okay, well, now you got to make that decision. You got to make that decision right. I've heard it said, I don't make all the right decisions, but I make my decisions right. So think about that. So the decision obviously must precede the fruitful actions that we're going to take, and then what gets written in the triumphant conclusion on the next chapter, right? So consider that. We've got right now, anyone ever heard of a guy named Hernando Cortez? Anyone know who that is? He wasn't the trust fund baby who never conquered anything, right? He was he was an actual conqueror. I guess back in the days when being a conqueror was, a profession, like a realtor, or a doctor. What do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a conqueror. Oh, fantastic, right? So back in those days, and there was this. I'll tell you another story now, right? And this guy Cortez decided, you know what? I hear about this Aztec gold that's over there on the Yucatan Peninsula or whatever, right? And we're going to go get the gold. And so he and his crew sailed over to the Yucatan Peninsula, like the Cancun area, you guys know, Mexico, right? And I'm pretty sure that's where this occurred. Yeah, somewhere around there. And forgive me if I'm getting my history wrong, but here's one thing that I don't forget. So they landed on the shores of this place, right, to get the Aztec gold. Cortez did not say, hey guys, all right, so we're here to get the gold, and we're going to go up the beach there. And if the going starts getting rough, okay, we'll meet back over here at the coconut tree, and we'll get out of Dodge. That's not what he said. Do you know what he said? He said, burn the boats, sink them. If we're going home in their boats. We're here to get the gold or die. That's a decision. And that's why we remember Cortez and the phrase, burn the boats. Something of note, a bit of character. Now we can, have opinions about the morality of, going and being a conqueror and taking other people's gold. I personally don't engage in that. My ethics are different than Hernando Cortez. But it's also the year 2021. Right. That's right. 2021. Right. Arguably, we've evolved as a species. In some ways we have, in some ways not. But think about that. What is this triumphant story that your grandchildren can tell about how you broke the chain, where the buck stopped with you, where it wasn't generation after generation after generation of mediocrity, because now Cecilia showed up, David showed up, right? DL, Kimberly, Katie's on the job. Well, thank goodness Katie's on the job, right? Burn the boats, damn it. Let's get this done. This sounds unreasonable, doesn't it? Of course it does. Of course it does. Reason is limited. Reason is based on what we already know. We know how to solve little problems. We know how to be good, not great, but good, right? We know how to watch 7 hours of Netflix per day. We know how to do this stuff. We know how to punch a clock at a job, right? We know about mediocrity, but all of our goals lie in the realm of the unknown. All, right? If you already knew how to get it, you already have it. So you don't know. Fine. So now what are we going to do? Right? Are we gonna just, kind of play to not lose, or are we going to play to win? Big difference. Oh my goodness, what a big difference. And so when I read that next chapter, right? In David's book or in Laura's, memoirs, right? Of here's how I conquered myself, right? I'm inspired. And I'm like, wow, you know what? Let me get off my ass. Let me do something here. I've been so damn mediocre. You know what? If Nancy can do it, I'm going to do it. Damn it. If Avril can do it, sign me up. Thank you for that example. Why do you think we read all these books that I recommend? Look, I need evidence all the time. I need Cortez to tell his guys and to remember that he told his guys, to burn the boats. I need that all the time. So getting back to the idea of being reasonable, okay? By the way, there's a big difference between being unreasonable and being irrational. I'm not suggesting you be irrational. Be sane, okay? But let's get a bit unreasonable here. Reason's limited, right? I know what to do, and I've gotten these results up to this point. Now I'm going to go beyond reason. I'm going to start using higher mental faculties like my imagination, my intuition, right? My perception, right? We have all these different mental faculties, and a lot of times we don't exercise them. My will, that's a mental faculty. You know what the purpose of the will is? There's one purpose for will. Sometimes people think, oh, willpower, I'm going to stop myself from, force myself to stop procrastinating or something. No. The purpose of the will is to choose the right thoughts. That's it. And you do that consistently enough and often enough, you actually develop the character. You become a different person. The thought precedes the deed. I got a little bit of background noise here. I'm going to go ahead and mute a couple microphones. And all right, sounds good. So there's the thought, and then there's, the feelings about the thought, and then there's the decision, and immediately following the decision, there's the action, and then there's the result, right? But the thought can't just be based on what's reasonable. We're going to have to get a bit unreasonable. Burning the boats is unreasonable. You guys see that? So what are people going to talk about you when you've passed on and left whatever your legacy is? Who's signing up to do this job? Somebody bold, I hope, right? Somebody bold. If not you, then who, right? I guess we can pass the buck again. That's not what I'm here for. That's not my goal, right? I don't think it's yours either. And look, if you're attempting to do this all alone, that's why I'm glad we were talking about accountability reps. The lonely road is pretty lonely. A lot of times where people are attempting to get online businesses going, they're like a solopreneur and they're sitting there staring at a computer screen, and that's their life, and it's miserable. Don't do that. Don't do that. Why do you think we got all this stuff here? Why am I showing up here with you every day? Why are these accountability reps here? Why did Rachel put all this stuff in place? And the countless staff members that we have who are going to get their things in order. Again, we broke the system with the total explosion of new members, but why? Why? We've got to have answers to those questions, and you damn well better have answers to those questions. Why are you showing up here? And what is it that you will not be denied? I will not be denied. These are my standards. These are my goals. Damn it, I shall have it. Burn the boats. That's the approach that we take. And then, you know what? I've got a quote here. Let me end with this, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. This is a great quote. A lot of people attribute this to, let me find it. Attribute this to Goethe, but it wasn't Goethe who said it. It was William H. Murray. You guys know what I'm about to say? William H. Murray. Great quote. All right, so this was, they were going to the Himalayas. Okay, they were going to go climb some mountains. William H. Murray and his compadres. He didn't do it alone either. Nor did Sir Edmund Hillary, the first guy. Him and Tenzing Norgay, two guys, right? Not just him alone. Two guys were the first to get to the summit of Mount Everest, right? Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay did not do it alone. William H. Murray says, but when I said that nothing had been done, I erred in one important matter. We had definitely committed ourselves and were halfway out of our ruts. We had put down our passage money, booked a sailing to Bombay. This may sound too simple, but it is of great consequence. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideals and splendid plans. That the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all matter of unforeseen incidents, meetings, and material assistance, which no man could have dreamt would have come his way. I learned deep respect for one of Goethe's couplets. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. William H. Murray. I will put that quote here in the chat for your pleasure if you want to copy that and do something with it. So are we going on an adventure or what? Something worth talking about tomorrow, next year, 100 years from now? Well, that's your decision. I am. Rachel is. I think that's fairly obvious, right? How about you? Rebecca said, can you get that? Yes. And immediately, as soon as she had the thought, it was delivered that fast, Rebecca. We were connected like telepathically. That's mystical stuff right there. Any questions, comments, ideas you guys want to share? Come on out. Come on out. You can raise hands. You can unmute your microphones. And yes, we are going to get with our accountability reps. We're going to have a little staff meeting here today. We're going to make sure that everybody gets what they need. Who's that? I see Cecilia. Hi, Cecilia.
Hi. Oh, yeah. So about what you just said there, I actually was going to be late for this meeting, and I'm like, oh, no, I'll do this after it. But I just wanted to say I'm taking action. I know it's a little backwards here, but I'm going to secure my website so that I have like at least a landing page for my business name. And since it's available, I'm going to go for it. So that'll help me get myself going in the direction that I need to. So, because then I got to register the business. So, okay.
Well, a good thing to do is jump on your favorite registrar, GoDaddy, Namecheap, whatever, instantdomainsearch.com. If you're talking about domains, and yeah, registered domains. I think between me and my wife, we got about 300, 350 domains. We haven't used them all. Okay. But they're what, $10, $15 a year. So yeah, our GoDaddy bill is substantial. Okay.
Some you can find for free. You don't have to pay for them. Some
free.
Yeah, you can get your domain names and websites for free.
Where?
I'll send you the link because I did that last year.
Save me thousands of dollars, please. Yeah, send me that link. I don't know of such things. Okay.
I'll have to look it up and I'll send it to you by tomorrow.
Thank you, Natasha. Thank you. All right. Yeah, well done. And think of it like this. I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, please tell her to put it on the screen so that we can see it as well.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah, free domain registry. That sounds miraculous. But again, it's like $10 to $15 a year. So, but think of it like this, everyone. Let's say that you are writing your story and now you're rich and famous. Do you think it's a good idea to have like your own name as a domain? What do you think happens if you go to johnlavenia.com? Do you think you're going to find Bob Smith? No, you're going to find John Lavenia. Right? So food for thought, right? Or you could just delay and then you become rich and famous and then you can go buy it. You can go buy your own name from some guy in Indonesia who registered it on your behalf and we'll sell it to you for $20,000, $40,000, somewhere in that range. Okay. So go ahead and register your name. We've got Missy up next. Hey, Missy.
I just wanted to, I think I said this before you went live. I wanted to really recommend this book, Atomic Habits.
Mm-hmm.
And basically he talks about, because some of this is very overwhelming, and he talks about if you can improve 1% a year, he did this formula, you will be 37% better by the end of the year by doing little tiny things every day that you have to delay your gratification because you don't see. He did this example of an ice cube. He said, it's 23 degrees. Put the ice cube on your table. It's 24 degrees. It's not going to melt. 25, 26, 27, 30, 31. When you get to 32, then you see it. He said, most people leave before it gets to 32 degrees because they don't get that gratification. And he says, if you don't improve 1% a year, he's the formula for that too. And you are at 0.03, you have devolved. If you're not
Hmm.
improving, you're devolving. And it made a great impression between the years over here. But 1% added up over a few years is a tremendous amount. And I just wanted to, Atomic Habits, it really, I found it, I couldn't put it down.
Wow.
It was
There
on
you
my
go.
computer, but I still couldn't put it down. But
And coming from you, that's a high recommendation. Thank you, Missy. Good stuff. Well, we got 5 business and semi-business oriented books that are on our list. I do recommend starting with Miracle Morning. There's a reason for that. And one other of your choice. And based on what Missy was saying, that choice could be Power of Consistency by Walden Long. It's about consistency, habits. This is the trick. All right. We do have another hand up, and it is my friend DL. Hey, DL. DL.
Yeah, I'm here. How are you doing, sir?
Very
I was
good.
when you're talking about the will, that one resonated strongly, because that's the most profound thing I tell everyone, is that you need to make a choice. Until you make a choice, there is no shift. And the 5th book you recommended, I can't remember her name now, but she talks about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I've used that strategy. What's the name?
Mel Robbins.
No, right, Nora Robbins. I've used that strategy, and it does work. Even sometimes in the morning when I'm struggling and I need to get up, I do that rocket thing. 5, 4, 3, and then boom, I just shake up and I do the next thing. And it lines up with the point that you made about the making a decision. The purpose of a will is to make that decision that I'm going to do this, hell or high water. So thumbs up to that. That was awesome.
Awesome. Thank you,
That was
DL.
awesome.
Glad you're here, brother. Yeah, if we just choose the right thoughts using our will, and we do that consistently enough, guess what's going to happen? We're going to make some better decisions, right? More on purpose decisions. All right, my friends, thank you all for that. Active group here today. Thank you all for your feedback on the whatever outpoints are existing in our logistics and the ARs and all that. So we're going to get that handled. I will be back here with you all tomorrow. If it pleases the group. Yes, it does. Okay, fantastic. I'll be here tomorrow then. And I expect to see you all. Bring a friend, right?